Now, after a 2-week recess, Parliament will today return with the Chancellor set to face questions from both his own party and opposing MPs.
Now, he recently announced that his debt-cutting plan will be published on the 31st of October, despite promising our economics and business editor, Liam Halligan, that the plan would be published as originally planned on November the 23rd.
You are going to bring forward the fiscal assessment in conjunction with the Office of Budget Responsibility. You said in your speech yesterday that will happen shortly. Is shortly before the 23rd?
So shortly is the 23rd. I mean, people reading the runes and parsing.
So it is going to be the 23rd of November. You're not bringing that fiscal plan forward.
It's going to be the 23rd of November.
Okay.
Well,
I was going to say, sorry, I was just enjoying my cup of tea, just making the most of it while Liam was talking. Let's see how all we are reacting to all of this, all these economic changes. We talked to the head of political and social research at Opinium, Adam Drummond, who's here. Good to see you this morning. Look, voting intention is the key thing. It's what everyone's working on at the minute. The figures, your latest figures have got, a 21-point lead for the Labour Party, which is not good for the Tories, but not as bad as it has been.
Oh, it's the biggest lead we've shown for any party, but the company I work for was founded in sort of 2007, so we missed kind of the crazy high 90s periods that Tony Blair had. But it's definitely the biggest lead we've ever shown for Labour in the whole time that I've been working in this. OK, and you've also had some new sort of headline figures as well from this when it comes to the views on the state of the economy and who they trust in all of this. Yeah, so again, that's the other remarkable thing, is that basically a lot of the time, the Tories are normally ahead on things like growing the economy and tackling debt and the deficit and so on. Labour tends to be ahead on things like improving public services and inequality. And now, basically, we've just seen a big shift towards Labour, big Labour leads on every aspect of the economy at the moment. And that's all really happened since the mini-budget. So, I mean, it's just a sign, is it, that people are just not... It's not that Labour's doing anything right, necessarily. They're not necessarily saying, are they, that they like what Labour's proposing. They just don't like what the government's offering. It's a bit of a mix. It depends, I guess, how you define sort of what Labour's proposing, which is that when the mini-budget happened and you had that big negative reaction in the markets, you had, the pound tanking a bit and fears about interest rates. And ultimately, I think what the public wants in terms of the economy is basically sort of calm and steady growth and for the boat not to be rocked too much. And at the moment, whatever you say about what Labour's kind of proactively offering, they are very much giving off that kind of vibe that they will sort of run a steady ship and not rock the boat too much. Now, I don't know if you did a poll on what the appetite is for replacements for Liz Truss, but you certainly did look at possible replacements, whether or not there is an appetite there. And what did you find from that? So, generally, we tested the various other kind of, really prominent Tory figures, so including Boris Johnson, Kwasi Kwarteng, obviously, in there as well, because he's quite prominent at the moment. Generally, all of the figures that we tested come out with kind of net negative figures among the public. That's sort of what you'd expect, because at the moment most of the public aren't Conservative voters. So the interesting group to look at is Conservative voters. Among them, Rishi Sunak comes out sort of narrowly positive. Most of the rest of them come out quite negative. Michael Gove, for example, even though he's had a very interesting week at Tory conference, but he comes out very kind of net negative. He has this kind of Tony Blair-like reputation where he's quite popular among sort of political elites, but among the general public he's not really popular at all. Interesting. We're just looking at Liz Truss's approval rating there, which obviously is bad. Yes. It's very bad. She's not been in the job very long. But I suppose the idea is that what you would normally see is a bounce. You'd see a honeymoon period, and we're seeing the exact opposite. We are, and the interesting thing is basically that the whole mini-budget thing was not... That was basically kind of a war of choice, really, wasn't it? It wasn't necessarily... It didn't have to happen at that point. So Truss was kind of unfortunate in that obviously all the royal succession happened almost immediately after she became Prime Minister. That's a hell of an in tray for any Prime Minister to have to deal with. She did roll out the energy package, which, from what we tested, was quite popular. But then that's immediately gone off the news straight away with the mini-budget.